Soundhound stock is down around 50% year to date, but has just broken a downtrend line and may be setting up for a potential high value trade. So in this video, I want to share my thoughts on this trading opportunity and why I think there's a potential 97% upside for this tech stock. Let's take a look. Now, if you like my analysis of Soundhound stock today or other stocks on my channel, you may also like my trading tips. Consider signing up to my email newsletter where I send you professional tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. I'll leave a link in the description below. Check it out. So you can see on screen, Soundhound is setting up for a potential trade. It is in a long-term uptrend, and more recently it has broken this downtrend line in the last 6 to 8 weeks. And potentially there's an entry here which would give you an upside of 43% to this level here and around 100% to this peak here of $25. So a great opportunity potentially setting up. Now, before I look at those rules in depth and how you might enter this stock to maximize profit, I first want to mark up the chart with some key price levels. So zooming out on the chart for Soundhound, we can see this stock is long-term bullish. Since this low down here, around about 92 cents, it has been trending up, creating higher lows and higher highs, as the stock has been progressively trending upwards. And adding a long-term momentum line, it's clear to see that this stock is moving upwards. Each time it comes back towards the momentum line, it does push off, find support, and buyers come back in to push it to higher prices. Now, the most recent peak for Soundhound was this level here, around about $25. When the stock traded up to this peak in December 2024, so around 6 months ago now. And since that time, price has fallen away. It's been sold off, and it looks as if it's finding support around about this $6.50 mark. Buyers obviously have come back in here, and in the last 8 weeks, price is starting to move up. So the first price level I want to mark up of note is this all-time high of $25. The second level I want to mark up is the previous all-time high, which was created not long after the stock listed back in May 2022. Underneath that, I want to mark up the most recent price peak created about 4 weeks ago, and that's around $12.60. We've also got a level here from this peak created back in March 2024, and that's around $10.20. And another very strong level that's running through this price action on the weekly chart is this level around here. It's around $6.50. And you can see that it has come up to find resistance a few times. And more recently, it's found support at this $6.50 level. So let's mark that up as well. And it's interesting to note that that $6.50 level does correspond with that long-term momentum line over the last couple of years. So this might be a key level. Now that we have these key levels marked up on the chart of Soundhound, we can see price at the moment is trading above this key support level of $6.50, and it's just underneath this level of $10.28. And more recently, it did try to push up and found resistance at this level here of $12.60. Now, by adding a downtrend line to Soundhound from the peak back in December and picking up a couple of peaks, one in February and also around March, we can see that price action trended down, found support around $6.50, but it did break this trend line in April 2025, so about 8 weeks ago, showing that buyers are interested in coming in and buying up this stock. And price looks as if now it's finding support here and price is going to move up. So we've got a few rules coming into place to potentially set up for this trade with Soundhound and give us confirmation that price is more likely to move up than it is to move down. We've got price finding support at this key level of 650. We've also got this trend line break, where price closed above the downtrend line in the third week of April. So two key factors there. Now for my trading rules, I like to see a retest after a trend line break, just to see how much selling interest there is after the initial breakout. So we can see here, after the breakout in that third week of April, there was a bit of selling pressure with 2 weeks moving down. But after that time, buyers came back in and there was a big surge up, with price moving up to around 1260. Now I did cover this stock in a previous video, and I did mention there was an early entry for SoundHound using Dow theory, essentially when price pulled back and then broke above this level here. So if you had taken that entry a few weeks back, obviously you would have entered around about here. Based on Dow theory, you had the break, you had 2 weeks down to test the selling interest. And then of course, price in the following week took out that previous price peak, proving buyers are in control. So you would have entered potentially the week after that price confirmation. So around about here, around $10.64. So if you took that entry on those rules, you would be down slightly as price has gone sideways since that entry point. Now, if you didn't take that entry a few weeks ago, there's obviously another entry you can take for SoundHound based on the current price action. And that entry would be above the peak of $12.66. So based on the price action, we've got that support level here, we've got the trend line break, we've got one pullback, we've got a second peak being created, and now we've got a second pullback into this level here of 916. So the next step we need to see for confirmation that the buyers are back in control is a break of this level here and this second peak around 1260. So if price breaks this level here this week, next week, or the next few weeks, that would confirm buyers are back in control and you could enter based on Dow theory at a price above $12.63. And if you were to take this trade based on these rules, what sort of upside potential is there and downside risk? Let's take a look. So entering the trade around about this level here of 1265, you've got about 42% upside potential to the next level of resistance, which is $18. And if I zoom out, you can see that level of resistance is based on a previous price peak here around about May 2022. So that may offer resistance. It might not, it might go straight through, but I've marked that up just for reference. And if price continues through that level of $18 and trades up to the all-time high of 25, that would give you potential profit of 97% based on the entry of 1265. And you could put your stop loss at around 15%, or maybe a bit more. You could use this level here of 18% as your stop loss. Depends on your risk tolerance. One thing I like to do is not risk more than 2% of my total capital on each trade. I think based on this trade, I'd be looking at keeping it under 15%, but all depends on your own risk appetite. Now, if you were to use that 18% stop loss and that key level of support there for your stop order, you'd be looking at a 18% stop loss and a 97% upside potential, giving you a risk to reward ratio of 5.14, which is very strong. Now, if that stop loss was tighter, let's say it was 15%, let's drag that up, then obviously that would improve your risk to reward ratio up to 6.5. So still a good trading balance there. So overall, SoundHound is looking good. It's in a long-term uptrend. We've had a short-term pullback, and now it looks as if after breaking the trend line, it's looking now to move up, and the buyers are looking to take control if it can break that peak of 1264. So let me know what you think in the comments. Would you take this trade? What are your rules? I'm keen to learn from your trading experience and your feedback. Thanks for watching.